Morning, folks. Well, it's butchering day. I just wanted to show quickly the setup, how we are going to process our Red Rangers, which are telling us they want to be butchered. The whole neighborhood could probably turn out and help us. Yeah. So I'm not going to be shooting video of the process because, you know, now we have sensitivities and stuff. And people aren't supposed to know where their food's coming from. You know, it's better to support the factory-raised chickens that are, you know, treated like commodities. Never mind. So I just wanted to show you briefly what we do, and maybe at the end show you the end result, but in the middle we're gonna skip that part. So here are our Red Rangers, and what I have inside is what I call our compactor, which is just an arch that I built that I stake inside. So now as I pull the cage this way, it'll compress the flock. So as I reach in from the other side with my snare, then as the numbers dwindle, then I can, you know, compress the herd and make it easier to grab a couple at a time and bring them over to our cones of silence, which, if you recall from last year, I made these out of aluminum trim coil, which works really well to make cones, but the sharp bottoms are less than ideal. So I covered them with duct tape, and so we're not going to get cut on them. But I'd probably recommend using some kind of a plastic material. But what really works slick is mounting them inside a half barrel like this with the top cut off. And then in the bottom, you know, we have our drain hole. And so everything goes into a bucket. And it just really contains everything. It makes it easy to clean it up. You can just spray this thing all down. And then see, I cut the top off and then just mounted just a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, or, you know, whatever kind of wood, and then just mounted the cones onto that piece of wood, and then mounted them to one side of the half barrel. Strapped it around the tree, and it works really slick. Here's our scalder. So just one of those turkey fryer jobs, and so we do 145 to 150 degree scald, and we do the wing feather method, where you just keep dunking, slowly dunking, and keep pulling gently on one of the end wing feathers, and when they slide out easily, they're done. So it's not timed, it's all based on how easily that wing feathers pull out. And then this is the plucker that we built last year. I wanted to build another one to show people a little more easily how to make one. I know there was people saying that's too long, you'd spend too much time talking and blah blah blah. Yeah, which I do. But I didn't have time to make another one. Perhaps in the fall I can, but this is our $50 plucker, which is, you know, $50 because we got the motor for free, but it works really slick. And then up here, this is just our processing table, where we're going to do the evisceration, the final plucking of pin feathers, and, you know, just to kind of clean up. And then after that, everything gets dunked into our cooling vat. And since we only have 21 right now, we started with 25. We butchered one early that was gimpy. We lost some due to some extreme cold. I do it in 2 batches. So I'll do half of them And then by then the scald water gets pretty funky, so I'll dump it. And then we'll kind of do a little cleanup, and then I'll reheat another batch of water, and then we'll do the second batch and we'll be all done. Bag them up into the freezer, and hopefully done by noon or so. So until then, I'll show you at the end here what our end result is. Well, here it is the next day. Finally, the cage is silent for another year. So, I didn't do this yesterday. We actually finished up around noon. So the whole process was about 4 hours. We do half of them in one batch of scalding water, and then we dump it and refill and reheat and start out with a second batch. So about 4 hours, Peg and I working on it together. But Peg did a recap. She weighed every bird as she bagged them, and we had an average weight of, after 21 chickens, our average weight was just over 5 pounds. And that was 11 weeks exactly for Red Rangers, which, you know, of course the Cornish Cross would have been done sooner and less feed and less cost. But it's that old quality versus quantity argument again, and for us, we'd rather have the Red Rangers. We'd rather have the taste and the texture that they have, so it's worth it for us. So our price per pound, total cost, including the price of the chicks and all the feed, came out to be $1.68 a pound. And then, you know, we ended up with 105.5 pounds of chicken in the freezer. So, our Red Rangers for you, you know, if you want more meat, less cost, and less time, the Cornish Cross are the way to go. You wouldn't come out probably selling Red Rangers unless you're selling to a market that appreciates and wants that different flavor and texture that they offer. We like them because they're a real chicken. You know, they forage well, they stand upright, they don't slide across the ground on their ponderous breasts. They're clean when you butcher them. You know, they're not double-breasted. Their breasts are more kind of in line with the rest of their bodies, kind of more proportional with it. So, I guess it's your call. Will we do all cockerels next year? Now there's another thing. They've been crowing for almost 2 weeks. So I think, yeah, another day, and I think the neighbors might have come out and help us to butcher them. But we'll take another look at this pen. And I want to show you the watering system. I know I showed it last year, but I want to do an update on that. But that's for another video. So until next time, this is Mark again with Backwood Basics. Let's grow together.